Hello, my name is Gloria Lindsay. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, we're sharing tips on getting closer to God. Looking back, just the year that I've had coming into this year, 2023, I can definitely sense the presence of God into my life. I've experienced like miraculous things, literally miracles that He has performed in my life, and I'm so grateful for all the goodness that has unfolded in my life, from last year up to this year. And I thought it's going to be a year since I last got saved. I got saved in August last year, and since then, it's just been absolutely amazing. Of course, I'm human, and I've had my ups and downs, and everything I've been going through emotionally that I'll speak on another video. But I definitely do feel the presence of God in my life. I'm still so grateful for everything that He has done in my life. And I thought for anyone who would like to, perhaps you feel inclined to get closer to God, or you're already close to God but you'd like to get even closer, I wanted to share some tips that have worked for me, that have personally worked for me in getting closer to God. And I'm still trying to get closer to Him, but just different things that have worked for me that could possibly work for you as well. So let's not waste any time. The first thing that I would say for you to do is to go to church. But I would say for myself, for example, just a little bit of a background story. I actually grew up Catholic. I was born Catholic. Actually, both my parents are Catholic. My mom, she doesn't really practice anymore. My dad is definitely like a stoic Catholic. And I grew up in church and everything like that. But I do feel as though around the teenage years, around like 15, 16, or somewhere along there, I kind of lost my way. And I was more into the worldly world of, going out and the partying and all of that. And so I stopped going to church. Like, I'm not sure what age exactly, but somewhere along those years, I stopped going to church completely. Like, I just wouldn't go. Like, Sundays would just come and go, just like that. I'm actually so thankful because of my friend, one of my closest friends, Marissa. So she invited me to her church. That was last year in April. I think I've mentioned that before on this channel, but I started going to her church. It was not my home church, but honestly, I wasn't gonna go. It was more of like, let me just go this one time. And because she kept inviting me, I was like, I'll just go this one time and I won't go back again. I think from that one time that I went, I just it was a good service. It was intense, but I thought I really like this, and I kept going more and more after that, right? So I'm so thankful because of her and her invitation. I started going to church, but I definitely do feel as though, even though like I was going, so from that point I started going, it wouldn't be like every single Sunday, but I just started going more frequently. I never thought like I'm gonna reach a point where I'm gonna say like I'll stop drinking, but it's definitely not as much as I was prior. I never intended for any of the things to happen, but I do think me just being in the church consistently helped in changing my life, and it helped in me getting closer to God and started getting convicted. So for anyone who does not know what being convicted means, it's basically when you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, and the word comes forth, from the pastor or your spiritual leader. The word comes forth and you start feeling guilty about it, like something in your heart is saying, oh yeah, like I'm this person and I should not be doing this anymore, right? And that conviction that I was feeling with certain things that I was doing, it could only come from me actually being in the church and spending time with the Lord in the church, right? And what I would say, because prior to that, I would always watch these like church sermons. Like I love, Sarah, like, TD Jakes and Sarah, Pastor Tori, like all these that upload their sermons on YouTube, right? Or Mike Todd, those pastors. So I would watch those sermons like from time to time, even before I used to go to church. But I would say there's nothing wrong with that. But I do think there is something as well to be said for just actually getting dressed and actually being in church in the presence of the Lord, right? So if you don't have a home church that you're going to, if you're just this person that watches their sermons online, I would, because that's what worked for me, so I would advise the same for you. The church that I go to now, it works for me, and it's the church that I feel like I want to keep going more and more and more. And so if you have not found that church yet that works, then I would encourage you to just keep finding, keep looking. And the second tip that I would share would be to be intentional with how you start your day. Scrolling through Instagram and TikTok, um, for me, I just started praying as soon as I would wake up. Like as soon as I would wake up, the first thing that would come to my mind is, oh, until now, every single day, is Lord, thank you for waking me up this morning. Father, I'm so grateful. I'm thankful that you protected me. You protected me throughout the night, and it's another day. It's new beginnings, new blessings, and Lord, thank you so much for your mercy. Right? We shouldn't be taking that for granted. Obviously, there's some people that sleep and they do not wake up. Right? If you're trying to get closer to God and you choose to be intentional with how you start your day, it's going to help out a lot. I actually just heard this maybe like I would say 2 or 3 weeks ago. I went for this. So I went for that. The leader of the Bible study said, that was so profound that to me at least was, he said, to wake up in the morning, starting your day without prayer, it's actually you being prideful. It's pride, like at the highest level, because it's essentially you're saying that I can start my day, I can go on my day without God, right? It's true that sometimes we are prideful in ways that we just want to wake up and we just want to, shower and do have breakfast, whatever, and just start the day without praying to God and just even thanking him for waking you up, without asking God to be with you throughout the day. And I think that is wrong. It should not be that way. I would definitely highly advise starting your day by being intentional with spending time with God, even if it means 5 minutes of prayer. The thing is that the important thing is that you're even starting. You will start with 5 minutes every single day. 5 minutes will go to 10 minutes, the 10 minutes will go to 30 minutes, right? So we start with just a simple prayer of, Father, I thank you. And Lord, I pray that you're with me throughout the day today. I pray for your guidance. I pray for your protection. I pray for your direction throughout the day today. And whatever it is that is coming my way that I'm not aware of, Lord, may you please be there for me. May you help me to just, get through the day and live my life today in the way that would please you, in a way that would bring you joy, in a way that would make you happy. So something along those lines to start your day would be amazing. So the next thing, if you're trying to get closer to God, is to try and surround yourself with people that as well. And those that don't, then you limit your time with those that don't, right? So for example, this is why going to a home church comes into play, because then once you start going there and you're going there consistently, you'll start meeting people that share your faith, that share your love, the love that you have for God as well. And I do think this is very, very important. We cannot take that for granted. We want to always be surrounded by people that love God and share our faith, because that what my pastor always says as well is that iron sharpens iron. So being with people that love God, that share your faith, is very, very important. We cannot take that lightly. Another thing that I would share as well is to try and go on a fast, actually, because the way I've been taught with fasting, like the way Catholics who used to do fasting, is that we would fast, let's say we have that time during Lent season where we're fasting for 40 days and it's like morning to 6 p.m. So you break your fast at 6 p.m. But now the way I'm learning about fasting as well from the church that I go to is that you don't have to do it this way, actually. If you feel like absolutely I cannot go without food, there's different kinds of fasts. You can fast from social media. You can pick a specific food that you really love, that you can fast from that. Even the time to break your fast can vary. You can break your fast at 4 p.m. If you're a person that loves breakfast, you can skip breakfast for a day and say, today I'm not I'm skipping breakfast for, let's say, a day or 2 days, and you can have lunch. So a fast doesn't have to be what you were taught growing up, right? But the important thing is what you do during that fast. That's not fasting if you're just like staying hungry and you're actually not spending time with the Lord. The whole point of a fast is that during that time you're praying, during that time you're worshiping, during that time you're reading the word, during that time you're watching sermons. So before you start your fast, this is exactly what I'm praying for, or if you could be experiencing something emotionally that is very, very tough for you to go through. Whatever your heart desire is at that time, then you can be intentional for that, and you're trusting God that after this fast, whatever it is I'm battling with, Lord, remove it or help me with it. Every single time I've done a fast, it always comes to pass, always and forever. And even if it doesn't come to pass, it could also be that because with God, it's like with prayers, it's never denial, right? It's always not yet, or it's coming, or that like not. It's always yes or not yet. Whatever it is that you pray for and you're not getting it at that specific time, it does not mean that God said no. It could just mean that God has something better, or the time has not arrived yet for you to have that thing. But either way, you will come to that conclusion at the end of your fast. And you can trust and believe in God that He will do that for you, right? So I would say try a fast. I've done like a 3-day fast before. I've done 7 days, and it's just been different things that I've done, like no food, and just eat in the evening, or just water. I believe I did the Esther fast where for 3 days it was just water, but I added like juices and stuff, just liquids. Basically, I was just doing liquids for 3 days. But every single time I've done a fast, it has worked every single time. So if you're trying to get closer to God, try going on a fast. And last but not least, I would say when you're trying to get closer to God is to identify with your channel of grace. So this concept of a channel of grace, actually I learned it from the church that I go to, but basically the channels of grace are the way we are born naturally. God wants to get closer to us, and so for different people, these different channels of grace work for them to get closer to God. So it's 5 of them. So one of them is prayer, one of them is the word, so reading the word, reading the Bible, meditation, association, so being around, love Jesus and follow Jesus, and worship. For me, what I identified was actually, for a long time I didn't even know what it was. I was like asking God, like, what is my channel of grace? But I'm not sure. Like, I like to meditate sometimes, I like to read sometimes. But he revealed to me one of the videos that my pastor posted on his Instagram, that is actually worship, because the way he spoke about it, that with worship, songs just come to you naturally. You can wake up in the morning, you already have a song in mind, you're always singing. And then I realized that's actually me. Like, I always have a song stuck in my mind somewhere. I'm always trying to sing something. And so worship is for me. I will link like a video like that you can watch from my pastor, that talks about the different channels of grace. You can identify what yours is, and then from that, once you know what a channel of grace is, then it is doing that as frequently as you can. So for me, let's say if it's worship, then it's like in the morning singing, in the evening when I come back from work singing, throughout the day finding ways to sing and just worship the Lord, right? And from that, you will get revelation. From that, you feel the love of God. From that, you feel the peace of God. You feel the spirit of joy. From that, when you are choosing to engage with the channel of grace. If you've reached this point of the video, thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have you as one of my subscribers. And I thank you so much for supporting me, being patient with me every single day. And honestly, I love you so much. Thank you for watching this video today. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye.